My next guest also joins via our studio in Benin. She runs the Society to Heighten Awareness of Women and Children Abuse, Sotawaka, Ronke Ojikiri. Welcome to Hard Copy, Ronke. From your countenance, I can tell that this really hit you hard, just as it did many of us. But what was your first reaction when you heard about Uwa's case?
Thank you very much. The news of Uwaila's death reached me on Sunday. I wasn't in Benin when it happened, but when I came back, as usual, went on social media and I saw all the information that was being streamed. The good part about all of this was that my colleagues swung into action immediately. They heard about the news and they actually went to the scene of the rape and took pictures. So I was able to talk to one of the lead people on it, and she gave me kind of a vivid description of what what they had seen. I also asked what the police were doing in relation to what they had seen, because my surprise was that if such a thing had happened and people still had access to the church, I knew that whatever evidences were going to be collected would be contaminated. She said, well, that the things were still lying there. They saw the canister of extinguisher that was used to hit her on the head, and so many of Uwaila's different articles, but that she said that her phone had been taken away. She also did say that with the phone they would be able to track whoever was involved in this matter. But that wasn't my primary concern. My primary concern was that people still had access to that church, and I didn't understand it. People were going there, lifting things and all of that. But when the police PPR Ronan came up with a press release as to what they had seen, I laughed, because if you say you took fingerprinting of the things that were left there, you didn't remove the evidence. So anybody can now take that evidence and throw it away. Back to your question, how I received it. I am a mother. I'm a mother of an undergraduate. I'm a mother who cares about where her child goes to at any given time. I'm a mother who's concerned about other children, because basically my area of focus is on women and children. And when I look at women and children, I look at sexual abuse of women and children. So this was one very pathetic case to me. This was one case that shocked me to my bone marrow. And I still cannot comprehend why anybody would rape an innocent girl. Not only would you rape her, you would batter her to the extent that it eventually snuffed her alive. What is it that child could have done that would merit her dying in such a way? You rape her is bad enough, you know. You took away her dignity. You took away every self-respect from her. But, you know, one question also that I ask myself, did Uwaila really know these people? Was that why they killed her? Those are questions that are begging for answers. And until we get those answers, we really cannot say too much about it. Yes, we are asking for justice. We are asking for justice because though she is dead, the perpetrators must be brought out, must be found, and justice must be done. But truly speaking, even if we get justice for Uwaila, it's never going to bring her back. But at least it will serve as a deterrent to whoever is planning to perpetrate such heinous crimes on other victims. As I'm speaking now, somebody may be getting raped, somebody may be getting defiled. Since Uwaila's case, we know how many cases have come up of people who are being raped and being killed. I ask myself, is this a fad that is going on?
Exactly my point, because it does appear that people now do things like this confidently, knowing that they will get away with it. I mean, social media has been buzzing with accusations left, right, and center. And just few days after, maybe 24 hours, 48 hours after Uwa's case, we heard about the case in Oyo State. We heard about the one in Ekiti State. And then it draws the question, what exactly could be fueling the confidence of rapists at a time like this when the conversation is even louder? And considering that we have laws in place, seemingly so, to tackle something like this. But it doesn't seem to be deterring these offenders.
Well, I would say that most of these rape offenders believe that the follow-up by the survivors, I refuse to use the word victims, by the survivors, those most of the families drop out at the end of the day. They don't want to come to testify in court.
Some of the reports we've got have suggested that some bow out, not just because of stigmatization or pressure, but because of the cost of pursuing this justice. Is that the same thing you've observed during the course of your work?
They look at how much money they use to come to court. They look at how much money they are spending in the hospital. They look at so many things. So before then, even before then, they tell you that when they report the matters in the police station, the police in themselves are the first to say, listen, let us settle this thing out of court. Save yourself all the wahala. But we are saying no. Let us go through the process. Once we have finished evidence from your child or your ward, there's no point in you. We'll just continue from there and let it be the matter of the state. And people who have made up their mind that they are not going to show up in court, or who have made up their mind that they want to be settled, the telephone number at which you can reach them, they no longer pay the telephone that number anymore, or they just discard of that SIM card and get a new one. So you cannot even trace them anymore.
Sorry to butt in here. Is it also an issue of the extent of the punishment, the degree of punishment? Because we've heard conversations that have said that the punishments are not enough. We have the VAP Act, we have the Child Rights Act, we have the Penal Code, we have the Criminal Code. All these laws proffer punishments. But at the end of the day, it seems like it's not enough. Only recently, the House of Reps turned down an amendment to a motion for castration of rapists' men. Is this a punishment issue? Is this why we still have cases like this thriving almost on a daily basis?
Well, initially we all said the punishment is not commensurate with the crime that has been committed onto a person. But with the VAP law that is in place now, well, it has gone from 2 years down to 14 years and thereabout.
But that in itself is a problem, I believe, because just like the Child Rights Act, the VAP Act has not been domesticated in all the states of the Federation.
Well, yes, but in Edo State we have done that, and we are working on we're working with the VAP laws and everything. So I believe that everything boils down to education and sensitization, if you ask me. My fear, and that is what I always say to mothers and families, listen here, the crime was not committed onto you, it was committed onto your ward or onto your child. Can we at least ensure that we see that that child can grow past that stage? Let's try and walk her through the healing process. They will tell you no.
I totally agree with you, because if you look at the cases on social media right now, they're from years back. So people have held in a lot for so long, and I totally agree with you on this one. But in all, I'd like to say thank you so much for finding time to come and speak with us on Hard Copy. And good luck with the work that you do.
Thank you very much for having me.